We ready for this?
Hey, everybody.
We're back!
Kev. This is BigRedRamble.
What up?
Shadowrun Returns, and I'm joined by Dave, who's not on the bottom this time.
Nope. I'm holding you up, though. I got you.
And we got PacManPolarBear here as well.
What up, everybody?
His beard grows more and more impressive every week, and I'd like to make a statement right now that we should tell him not to shave until he stops doing this show. So, pretty much for a long time.
Wow.
Every week we do a weekly check-in for the beard.
Well, the best thing about this ramble is that if we're still doing it by Christmas, people will finally get to see what my wintertime beard looks like, and it's pretty epic. It's pretty epic. It's about as close as I can come to looking like ZZ Top without actually being 70.
I hear they're thinking about rebooting that franchise, so, you might be a shoo-in.
Oh my god.
I'm looking forward to the winter beard. In the meantime, I'm going to talk to this lady of the night.
We're playing Shadowrun Returns.
We are.
What is that following you?
That's my little drone. He follows me around, gets into fights with me.
Is that a robot, or is that a bug?
It's a robot. I think. I don't know, I only just picked him up. I've never actually used it in combat before.
Well, then you get like a description that's like, this is a giant grasshopper that will blah, 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 or is it like, made from cybernetic, whatever?
Yeah, let's have a look. Going to my menu screen over here. This is my dude. I've got like a neon gas mask thing going on. Don't ask me why that looks, I don't know. It was the most expensive costume I could buy, so I bought it.
Well, it's nice to see that you spared no expense.
I've got a big old Russian-looking rifle, so that's Dave happy.
Yeah, I'm giggity.
Some sort of a hacky thing. I don't know. I'm playing a Decker, which is basically like your hacker.
Oh, I could never play Deckers when Shadowrun was popular when we were kids.
I feel like there should be more options for using the hacking tools, but this game hasn't presented me with many of them so far. The whole point of being a Decker is that you can enter the Matrix and have like fights in virtual worlds or whatever. But I haven't.
How about the wingsuits? Are there wingsuits?
I haven't found wingsuits yet.
Are there wingsuits though?
This is my drone. It's called a Doberman. It's a Class C drone.
So it is a Rubit.
Apparently, every rigger should own one at least in their shadow career.
So it is a Rubit.
So I bought one.
Just taking a minute to show off my T-shirt for this week. Punisher, what up?
I like it.
I'm pretty happy that Shadowrun is still on at least the last time I checked, was still in the list of the top sellers on Steam. Like, a lot of people on my friends list picked this game up for $20. It's funny though, almost everyone I've talked to doesn't really know a lot about Shadowrun. It was just around hype from other people who knew what Shadowrun was that it got so...
Yeah, I have to imagine everyone below a certain age, and outside of the role-playing community especially, probably only knows it from the 360 launch release.
That garbage game. Garbage!
Yeah. So all they really know is all the Shadowrun fans are like, that game is shit, this game is going to be awesome!
Yeah.
And it's not really fair to say if you like Fallout or if you liked XCOM, then you'll like Shadowrun. But those two games are very similar to what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's like a real-time isometric game, much in the spirit of the old Fallout games, or like even the old Dungeons & Dragons Infinity Engine games. But when you enter combat, it goes turn-based, and suddenly it looks like XCOM, which is that's a good thing.
And it works. It works
more
well.
XCOM style games. I need that in my life.
Yeah, man. Turn-based tactical games are the best.
What's up with Optimus Prime right there? Optimus Popo.
Right, I'm going to use my etiquette security thing here. So, as with all of decent RPGs, you get special options in chat for whenever you've got an ability of a certain stature. So, I'm going to pretend to be the special assistant to the coroner. Coroner?
Coroner.
I'm a special assistant to the corridor.
It's like, I paint Holloway's taupe. It's very soothing.
This is going to be a largely, like... I'm going to try and skip over the conversational bits as much as possible. or at least not leave them on screen for as long as they need to. But this is very much a game of role-playing.
We should explain one of the big things about this game. What you're paying for $20 isn't really just the 10-hour campaign that comes with the game.
No.
The real heart behind this Shadowrun release is the ability for the fans to make their own levels and to make their own stories and use all the assets they develop to make more Shadowrun tales. So the main campaign was designed and written by a lot of the guys who made the original Shadowrun games and wrote in the Shadowrun novels.
Hey, Pac-Man, I know you're taking this time to be really informative, but Kev, get to the chopper! Sorry, it must be said. Anytime there's a chopper, you must get to it. Now, go do it now!
The only thing I'll say is the level building tools in this, they're not the easiest to use that you've ever seen. They're pretty freaking detailed.
I'm pretty confident of when I say that this whole campaign was made in those tools, though.
It was. It absolutely was. Yeah. They've said it was.
The tools they ship with the game for you to use for making your own custom campaigns are the same ones that they use to make this campaign. So, and the best thing is that links directly into Steam Workshop if you've bought it on Steam. So,
yep.
All you have to do is click out of here, go to Steam Workshop, hit the subscribe button on any campaign you come across, and suddenly you've got a whole new Shadowrun campaign to play.
Yep.
And as per usual on the workshop, all of the really good things will climb to the top. So, yeah, that's a brilliant way to do it.
Brilliant. Because Shadowrun is just like D&D in the way that back in the day you'd have a dungeon master or whatever lead you through a campaign, and maybe not just like Dungeons and Dragons, but you'd still have guys role playing around around the tabletop game back in the day. So now you can basically build those, and there's already people who are taking some of the classic Shadowrun stories and building levels. So in a month, I expect to see some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And the melee, not the melee, but the core fighting class in this game is called a street samurai. How fucking cool is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I'm playing a mage. And my only beef with the game is that I seem to have been able to make my mage a little stronger than I think he should be.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't really played around with magic so much at the moment because I have gone entirely tech. I had one guy join my team earlier in the game who could throw fireballs, but that's about as much magic.
Oh, and we forgot to explain what the story is for this. The first campaign, I'm not spoiling anything. It's just the intro to the game. But the gist is a guy you used to run with back in the day has been murdered, and he sent you one of those messages that gets sent in the event of his death, saying, "Listen, dude, I got murdered. No one really cares about me, but I would really like it if you could solve my murder before you move on with your life." So you're like, "All right, I'll do that because I'm gonna get paid," and that's how it starts.
Yeah. Well, you can do it out of honor as well if you want to, but whoever picks that.
I said it was all about the money.
Honor's overrated. Get paid!
Yeah. We're here to get paid, son. Yeah, so there's a serial killer on the loose.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much he's calling himself the Ripper, and he's just stealing people's body parts, and that's the whole point of this game, is that your partner got a hold of you after he died. That sounds weird. He had a dead man's switch or something built into him, so that when he died it automatically emails you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's I haven't encountered any. It's all text. There isn't some massive voice actor cast attached to this game for $20.
None at all.
But the writing itself is actually pretty good.
Would have done it for nothing.
The thing about the voice acting is that because the primary developed game is all in text, it's not going to seem weird when all of the custom campaigns other people make are all in text either.
But I'm pretty sure I read somewhere where the possibility for someone embedding audio into the game is there.
Maybe, I don't know.
So when you make your own campaign, does that mean you write your own dialogue?
Yes.
Yep.
Does that mean potentially you could have a herpaderp level where everybody, all they do is say herpaderp, 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 and then your responses are herpaderp?
You could totally do that.
You could do it. I don't know how popular it'd be.
Hey, herpaderp.
5 stars.
They took our jobs.
They took our jobs. Hey, Kev, Jimmy wants to know if you're a meta-human.
I'm an elf. I always play elves when I've got the opportunity to play an elf. Don't ask me why, I don't know. I just like elves. Like having ears.
Oh man, that would be so great if you could throw in sound files, just whatever the hell, just random sound files like Randy Savage going, "Oh yeah!"
I started playing as a troll street samurai, but it just seemed too predictable that you would just go troll and street samurai and just be just bruise your way through the game.
Yeah.
Because like the decker mechanic is something like totally unique just to the deckers, and it does, and you will see more of them as you go through the campaign. But I mean the magic or oh god, my brain is frozen. What's the other class?
The shaman.
The shaman. Man, I like that kind of stuff because there's lots of like specifically unique powers to them. I haven't really gotten to the point where I've seen any big throwdowns between like me and another mage that I've liked yet.
No.
And one of the things that this game is already starting to generate is, as you can see, the avatar picture there. People are making banks of avatar pictures for people to use in their campaigns.
Yeah.
Which is super handy because you got to think you want to have an icon beside your thing and you don't want to just keep using the same faces all the time. So if you're one of the people out there who actually does that, thank you, because that's such a big help with building something this big.
What's the maintenance panel?
Hmm.
I'm being told about a maintenance panel.
Maintain.
Alright, I'm going to check out what's around here. Yeah, this game so far has been pretty good. It's not... The combat isn't quite as deep as I would have liked it to be, but that's possibly because I'm just not that far into it yet.
How deep did you want it, Kev?
Deep.
Like,
Yeah,
you're talking wrist deep? I mean, how deep you talking?
Elbow deep inside the borderline, to use a tool reference.
Ah, gotcha. You mean like the combat is, it's too short, not long enough,
It's just kind of shoot,
tedious?
move, shoot, move so far. But that, as I say, that could be just entirely dependent on the
Well,
class.
the problem with this game that I think some people will notice is you don't level up and progress and get tons of powers really quickly.
No.
You don't. Now that might change with the different campaigns or whatever, but you get things kind of piecemeal.
Alright, so I found a comb for the shaman that I met just now. Yeah, the skills in this game are over here. You get karma points every time you do something, which is just basically your experience. And you can bung...
I love the emo hair. Yep.
Yeah. You can bung the... You don't have much option other than to look a bit emo with elves. So apparently that's how elves look. Yeah, so this is your skill tree. You got everything is divided into body, quickness, strength, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So you've got a big option as to how you want to build your character out. Like you can specialize in particular weapons. You get your dodge up. Strength does things like combat damage with melee weapons, throwing weapons, specialties.
Yeah.
I'm primarily into intelligence, so I've got like biotech and decking, which is essentially hacking.
Yeah, you
Control is a thing where you go into the Matrix, but again, I haven't been into the Matrix yet. I have no idea how you can do it.
Well, you go sit in that funky old chair, and then you have them jab that needle into the back of your head, and then...
I mean, if Lawrence Fishburne turns up, I'll know where I'm going.
Neo. You want me to tell you about the Matrix?
You really got to be careful with your point distribution. Like if you're gonna be using ranged weapons, pick one ranged weapon and max it out. Like don't have the ability to use a pistol and a shotgun and a machine gun at the same time because that's total waste of points.
Yeah, I've just been putting everything into rifle so far because that was the first weapon I came across.
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk to this lady. We'll need at least 2 objects of significance from inside the warehouse. I go myself, but these pigs have barred me from entering. Goddamn pigs.
Douchebags.
Alright, well I found a comb, that's one thing. Apparently.
There's a comb! Is that a sneeze?
The comb of destiny.
Comb of destiny. So-
Hey Dave, you got your little question box this week?
I do have my little question box.
Ask me a question. I'm going to carry on looking for objects of interest.
Okay, fine. What is your biggest gripe with cell phones? Random question.
Go first, Kev.
Right now, my biggest issue with cell phones is wireless tethering not working as well as it should do.
I think my biggest grievance with cell phones is people saying when something leaks to the internet that my phone was hacked. First of all, there was no hacking involved in that, and second of all, that excuse has stopped working a long time ago.
Hey man, I appreciate the pictures of Olivia Munn we got from her cell phone that were leaked.
Yo, I found an object of importance.
Oh, what is it?
It's a sneaker.
Sweet.
A kid's sneaker. It smells sweaty and musty.
Well, that's just creepy. I have a child's sneaker for you. Oh.
It also gives off static electric shocks.
Nice.
Oh.
My biggest gripe with cell phones is when like you're eating dinner and someone will not put down their fucking cell phone. I can't tell you like my uncle will like lives on his cell phone. I'm like, you can't put that down for like a second while we sit here and eat.
Actually, you know what? The thing I hate about cell phones more than anything is something they've done to society as a whole. You see it everywhere. And I do it myself, I'm completely guilty of it, but it's that thing where the second that you're out with a friend and the second they turn around to talk to someone else, or they go to the bar to get a drink, or they go to the toilet, you instantly pull your cell phone out of your pocket and just check whatever. You don't want to look like you're doing nothing, talking to no one.
Yeah. Well, my uncle, he's a bit of a player, so he's got to keep the hose in check. But I tell him, I'm like, those bitches can wait 5 minutes while you eat your sandwich while we're here at this deli. Well, you know what? No, put the cell phone down.
Now keep my hose down.
Yeah, like I've never wanted to snatch someone's cell phone out of their hand and like smash it on the ground like more than I do my uncle. Like he comes to visit, we don't see him. Like he's on the patio talking on his cell phone the whole time to one of his hoes. And he's like, well, my cell phone battery dies all the time. I was like, because you're on it all the damn time. If you put it in your pocket, the battery would last a little longer.
I pretty much only talk to people using Skype. And if I'm mobile, I'm probably using my Skype on my PSP. Honestly, I haven't had a cell phone in my name for a couple of years now. I know that shocks people, but when you're shut in, you don't actually need a celly.
I want to be a shut in. I'm tired of working. I got a tan.
Oh man, I still gotta work. I just can't escape my office.
Ah, yes. Yes.
And if people are wondering why my face and my hands seem to be moving on the screen, is because I slept in today and I haven't finished the agenda for the podcast we're recording after this show.
For shame.
It's going to be a good show, though.
Shame. Oh, by the way, the Burbcast is posted for all the people.
Yeah.
It was late.
Totally my bad.
Yeah, it is. Well, actually, it's partially my bad. If I hadn't procrastinated until Friday to do it, it would be, I would have found out that you hadn't uploaded your audio sooner. But I was busy this week. What can I say? It's crazy time.
Yeah.
Hey, Kev, random question time.
Do it.
What word do you use most often to make yourself appear more intelligent?
There's a few. Lately, juxtaposition is one of my favorites.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to have to go with facetious.
Nice. Good
Yeah,
words.
yeah.
Good words.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I use pontificate.
That's a good one. I like using defenestrate as well, just because everyone thinks it's something gross and they have no idea what it is.
Actually, I realized I worked with morons because one day I used the word pigment, and they were like, "Oh, good word." And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Pigment.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "What?"
That one's not really worth applauding.
Well, they were blown away. Apparently, they hadn't heard that word in a while.
I like using ostensibly as well. But
You do use that. I've noticed that when we podcast and ramble.
Yeah, I don't really think of that as much of a intelligent use word though. It's just it means a very specific thing. Pac-Man uses it as well.
Yep.
Nice.
I think I used it on Twitter once, and Yoshi Feck applauded me for it, and I thought that was a bit odd.
Yeah, it's funny. The English teacher who works for Big Red Barrel, he comes out of the woodwork to applaud education when it shows its head.
He does like the big words. They make him all giddy.
Yeah.
Well, did you see that he posted a picture of like something one of his students wrote on like the dry erase board? And it was like, "You're awesome," but it was like, YOUR awesome, and then they spelled awesome wrong.
Someone picked him up.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was like he's like, "I'm a failure as a teacher."
He's on holiday at the minute, right? Like school
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. You don't have to be good at spelling when you're an English teacher, not in work.
Well, he's supposed to teach the kids how to spell.
He's got no kids to teach at the minute. He's fine.
Well, no, he's good now. He's not ruining the youth of America right now, but in the future he will be there.
I bet he's one of those cool progressive teachers. What was it he was saying on Twitter a while back? Something about he wants to teach his kids about that Kanye West album.
Oh, Jesus.
That actually blew up because Yoshi and I got into Yeezus over Facebook.
Yeah.
And we realized that we were both so polarized on the opposite ends of the reaction scale that any show between the two, because I was going to be a guest host on that podcast, any episode with the two of us on it where we're talking about Yeezus would just be like this big circular battle that just would never end.
Yeezy. I don't know. I listened to a little bit of that album, but I'm kind of done with Kanye West after he's like, "Jesus is my God name." I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. Kanye West is like, he makes good music, but that guy is crazy. And plus, he married Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, see that is kind of hard not to hold against him.
In what way? That you're jealous, or that you just think she's a terrible person?
I would have been jealous, but like she's had some work done and she looks awful.
Well, I don't know. I can't really judge her right now because she's got, was she pregnant or she had the baby yet? She's pregnant?
Yeah, she had the baby. Oh my God, why are we talking about this?
Yeah, why are we talking about this? Good luck.
Welcome back to Celebrity News. Let's talk about Kanye West and Kim's baby. It's called Northwest. Isn't that crazy?
We're playing Shadowrun Returns this week. Let's talk about Kanye West.
So are you about to go into a throwdown? Is that what I just saw?
I think so. I don't know. I'm kind of skipping through a lot of this dialogue, just scan reading it.
There seems to be a lot of dialogue, Kev.
Where's
the action?
Man, there's a lot of dialogue in this game. So
where's the action?
This guy sells Better Than Life's. Better Than Life's is like the drug of this world. You know in Total Recall, the movie?
Yeah.
Where they get like other people's lives beamed into
You mean the
their head
remake
or
or the original?
No, I'm talking about the version where they get other people's lives beamed into their head.
Well, I never saw the new one, so I don't know what that one's all
Yeah,
about.
Recall, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what these microchips do, and people are addicted to them.
Oh.
How do I get in? They test new stuff here, the hottest Drek. Shadowrun's got its own lexicon that is quite odd, and I'm not really familiar with Shadowrun as an RPG, so it's all a bit weird to me.
I don't know, I've got...
Pull out your hang glider, dude, and just go to town.
I've got most of the novels, and I got some of the old tabletop game books, but it's been a while since Shadowrun was in the public eye, so I'm slowly remembering all these words.
The old games were what, Super Nintendo?
I think there was two. Yeah, I think it was Super Nintendo.
Hey Kev, was that character's name Bacon Lettuce Tomato Sandwich?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, I'm guessing it was called I'm guessing it was BLT.
This character's...
So someone in the chat says, why is that character named after a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich?
He might very well be. Oh wait, are you still talking about BTL?
Oh,
BTL
okay.
is the drug. Well, microchip.
Hey man, bacon, lettuce, and tomato. That's a hell of a drug.
You could get addicted to BLTs.
Could.
That'd be a pretty expensive habit too, because they tend to upmark those quite a lot, at least in my local bakeries.
Bacon is expensive. Well, there was like a pork shortage, or a bacon shortage not too long ago. It was ridiculous. It's like, where's all the bacon?
We're looking for a kid named Gino. He's a clocker. I don't know what that means. Deals with clocks. Apparently he's riding a dream ship.
Okay. So where's the throwdown? The hoedown?
I'm trying desperately to find a fight somewhere, because that's really where this game gets really interesting.
Well,
This guy looks like he's ready for a brawl.
Take him down, Kev. Question time!
Do it.
What company's advertisements could you model for?
oh fuck.
This much. I'm about to sucker punch this guy in his blind eye.
You can do that?
I don't know, some sort of beard care product, or maybe posing in biker jackets. I don't know.
Biker jackets?
Well, I'm
Is
just
there a product line
I'm just
for
thinking
biker
of
jackets?
places beards fit in. Because you don't see beards on male models. You just don't, because they're not real men.
Like, catalogue models tend to have a bit of stubble going on.
I know, but the pretty boy, perfect, line of stubble. That doesn't count as facial hair.
Point well made.
If your facial hair isn't long enough to leave the side of your girlfriend's face a little bit red because it itches, that ain't a real beard.
Ugh. Girlfriends always complain about that.
Mine doesn't.
Yeah, we've gone into this before. Kev has a girlfriend who loves the beard, so...
She does.
Not gonna make the obvious joke!
I know, I'm trying so hard not to!
I want to make the obvious joke and I can't do it because I'm being respectful of Kev's girlfriend.
I just noticed something. If you're paying attention when you're playing Shadowrun, keep an eye on the walls, because some of the graffiti on the walls is pretty funny.
Yeah, this one says dandelion eaters.
Dandelion eater? That's the hardest gang in wherever.
We're in Seattle, if you're interested.
Oh, well, that's definitely the hardest gang in Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle got a lot rougher in the future.
It did. I would like to point out that I will not be bringing a gun with me this week because I got my beer.
Yeah.
And Dave is responsible. He's enjoying beer, but not guns at the same time.
Nope, I enjoyed my guns yesterday. Today is
Not all the
beer.
other people.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Guns and alcohol are never a good mix.
For God's sake, this person's standing right on top of a notebook, so every time I click to attack him, it's trying to prompt the notebook.
Well, Rachel McAdams and what's his name? Awesome.
Gonna reload now.
So, I'm wondering if there's any sort of cap to how big your campaigns can be.
I don't know. Think maybe there's a file size limit?
Oh well, I'm wondering. You might just have to make because I haven't delved into it myself. It was just so overwhelming. But I have a feeling maybe you could just link modules.
Yeah.
You could have just not chapter, but one part and then another part.
You could always do what people who make Skyrim campaigns do, which is just name your campaign part 1 and then do part 2 afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It all loads into the
No, you got to give them some vague name, like the Phantom Fart or something like that. Give them something awesome.
Who wants to play the Phantom Fart?
I do.
But I gotta say, I am gonna try to build something because I've got 2 levels up on Neverwinter that I built in Neverwinter's quest generator.
Another awesome mod tool set.
It's getting better because there's so little things to the tool set in Neverwinter. But I haven't been playing the game heavily, but I've been making tip money off Neverwinter to quite a big amount. Like I've actually been able to buy some high-end gear just off of tips. But I'm wondering if there's going to be any sort of showcase system or whatever. Like how far are they going to take showcasing the community talent beyond just having it show up in the workshop and whatnot?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I say that because Neverwinter has begun actively advertising some of the user generated campaigns.
And some of them are really bloody good.
Some of them are actually way better than the campaigns that are actually in the main game.
Yeah.
There's one called I think it's called the Dwarf's Toadstool or something like that. It's got a ridiculous name, but it's this murder mystery that ends in this sort of throwdown 1v1 against this like super powerful demon, and it was just written so well. It was really funny.
Kev, are you supposed to be fighting?
I am, yeah. And this is a
Or you-
particular iffy fight because there's a lot of what they call chip heads, which are the people addicted to the microchip thing. And I'm supposed to not kill them because they're civilians.
The thing with this game, though, is the AI isn't actually that stupid. I mean, they'll take cover, and some of the long-range guys will try to get a sweet shot on you by going at you from an angle. The one thing is the melee guys almost always just blindly charge you.
Yeah, which is a little irritating.
But I guess, I mean, you can't really say that doesn't happen in XCOM and Fallout as well. I mean, the guys with the bats or the giant marauders or whatever they were in XCOM, they basically, when they see you, they come at you.
God, I need to go get that game back.
What, XCOM?
Yeah, I let my buddy borrow it.
New one comes out pretty soon.
That's a first-person shooter, though.
Whatever happened to the XCOM DLC?
Uh,
Well,
It's coming
it's been on its way since before Christmas, though. I mean, like, damn.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, like we've known about it because the achievements are listed in my achievement list, but I can't unlock them yet. Damn it! But I think they learned their lesson after everyone made fun of them for the Slingshot DLC that came up for XCOM that was a complete waste of money.
Yeah, that what added like one character and a slight campaign.
Yeah, it was.
Very
Yeah,
slight campaign.
and he wasn't even that great a character.
no.
Right, I found the Yakuza Decker. Is this... Deckers are a part of Shadowrun since God knows when, right?
Yep.
So is that where the Deckers in Saints Row 4 come from?
Yep.
I'm gonna.
Reference?
It's possible. They do
Yeah.
have the blue.
I never got that before. Now
I didn't
know where
either.
that comes from. Makes me
If you don't know, now you know.
That's it. My drone's getting attacked here, which I'm quite...
I mean, if you were into science fiction in the the early 80s, early 90s, a lot of the tropes that you saw in sci-fi, like what virtual reality would look like, and stuff like that, it heavily influences how all the mechanics and all the world of Shadowrun works. Like it's all that 80s version of the future kind of deal. Only not the Blood Dragon way.
Dude, the Blood Dragon way. More games need to have Michael Biehn.
It's the best way.
He looks rough as hell when he's getting interviewed.
Oh,
Because he's old, man. He didn't take care of himself like Arnold did. He got one of those coke habits and then just... That was it.
That was a really appropriate time for a sniff there.
Cocaine or cocaine.
Did you see in the... I think, well, I call it news this week, but on the blogosphere, he apparently announced that he knew that Aliens Colonial Marines was a complete hash-up from the start and just, he was doing it for the money.
Oh, yeah. Michael Biehn do it for the money? Get out of
He
here.
hasn't really had work lately, is he? But...
Well, what I mean, he's still living off of that Navy SEALs money.
Yeah,
Like the
Charlie
old-
Sheen's doing alright, Michael Biehn must be.
Yeah.
I would argue whether Charlie Sheen's really doing all right.
Hey, Bill Paxton, okay? Bill Paxton. That's all I got to say. Bill Paxton with a Barrett.
Yeah, that was crazy. He's just like, called down the thunder, and he'd just shoot through people through the walls and shit.
Navy SEALs was a really stupid movie, but I quite liked it at the time.
You know what-
Charlie Sheen jumps off of a bridge at the beginning of the movie because his mate's about to...
Out of a moving Jeep.
You know what the best movie is? And I was reading somewhere that since 9/11 it hasn't been on mainstream TV again, is the third Rambo movie. Because in the
Where he's
third...
in Afghanistan?
Yeah, and in Afghanistan, there's this whole monologue in it where he extols, like how the Mujahideen and the Afghanis will never stop fighting anyone who comes under their soil and all this other stuff, and it's this huge deal. And now if you watch it in retrospect, it's like, oh my god, I wonder if Sylvester Stallone remembers saying all that stuff. Like, because when they were fighting the Russians, we were all buddy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, the 80s. What a crazy time. So I'm watching Kev play here, and I'm scrolling through the news this week. Man, the summer sucks to be a podcaster sometimes.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on.
Well, there's
E3
some
happened, and then that was it. And
well,
then-
there's some big news that we're going to talk about on the show, but there's not a lot of cool news.
No.
No. Well, that's because we're on the cusp of new consoles, so there's not a lot to talk about. They've already
Speaking of
released
which,
them.
I almost fell for it, Microsoft. I almost fell for it. I was about to pre-order your console the other day.
Whose console?
Microsoft's.
Oh, they were? And then what happened?
And then I decided,
Did you flip the switch?
man, I ain't stupid. I'm falling for it. Not just yet, anyway.
I ain't stupid, but I am.
I'm going to get both eventually. But right now, I think that 400 odd quid will go way better towards a new video card for my PC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a bunch of people are asking me if I'm going to wait and get Call of Duty Ghosts, because I play Call of Duty a lot. I'm not ashamed of it. It's a fun multiplayer experience with the homies.
Oh, they want to play in a next gen or current gen?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's a tough call, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've all sort of...
Because I don't want to buy the game twice, so it's like, do I just get it on the Xbone or what? Because, I mean, I'm not going to play it on PlayStation just because I'm not the biggest fan of playing shooters on the PlayStation controller.
Yeah, but on the PS4, that controller sounds like it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, like, we're all kind of resigned that we're probably eventually going to get both systems. It's now becoming like, do we wait for the games that are going to come out for the systems that we have now, or do we hold them off for when we get the new system? I don't know. I think for the first year, I'm going to be all about the exclusives for both systems.
Exclusive!
Well, I will virtually always buy third-party games on the PC where available anyway, just because they're going to tend to be cheaper.
Oh, here
Yep.
we go. Having his third-party PC support. Blah, blah, blah.
Whatever, man, they're cheaper. Like, I could argue about the better graphic range, but...
Oh, no, I'm totally jealous, and I'm really hoping that this sale that Xbox has been putting on for, like, the past couple weeks, selling, some games that they would normally charge 40 or 50 bucks for like 20 bucks is something that catches on Xbox Live, because it needs to.
You would hope so.
I would, and I do, but you never know.
Because they definitely have to do something along those lines. Steam is just like, it's ruining the market at the moment. In terms
Well,
of how good it is, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, like, Gamersgate and Greenman Gaming, now and then have sales just as good as Steam does now. They just don't have the catalog, and they're unwilling to just have the massive sales that Steam's been willing to throw down.
Right now, on Steam, and you can get it through Greenman Gaming, you can get XCOM the Bureau Declassified. Assuming enough pre-orders occur, you will also get a bonus mission of DLC for that game as part of your pre-order. You'll get Spec Ops The Line, the full game, as part of your pre-order. And you will get every single XCOM game ever released as part of your pre-order. All for free.
Wow, that's a good deal.
And that is 10% off already. So you can pay 10% less than standard price. And on Greenman Gaming in the United States, at the very least, it doesn't work anywhere else, but in the US, they will also give you 12 bucks of Greenman Gaming credit back on top of it.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So for, 50, just short of 50 bucks, you'll get every XCOM game ever made, including the new one that you're actually buying, Spec Ops The Line, and 12 bucks back in your account.
That sounds amazing.
That is insane. I can't believe that deal. Anyway, that fight's over and done with now.
That took a long time, dude. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I managed to pull it off.
Well,
Where was all the fireballs and the power?
I haven't got any mages around, man. There was a mage there, but I killed her pretty quickly.
What
You're
was your
only,
tech
you're only a
support?
couple hours in, though, aren't you?
Yeah, it's about 3 hours in, roughly.
Yeah,
Holy
there's,
crap!
I'm maybe just a little bit farther than you are now. But there's a couple of good throwdowns, but you kind of have to wait till you unlock the cooler looking powers, and it would look much different if he was playing a mage or one of the other classes. Although a street samurai would have just walked in there too and just started blazing people away.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get anyone who wasn't quite sure what this game was, like, you should have a fair impression of it at this point.
Yeah.
When the combat kicks off, the turn-based stuff is quite fun, especially when you get to the point where you've got like loads of abilities to choose from. You can choose various different ways to fire your weapon. Like, at some point during that combat, I switched from single shots to a full auto shot, which sacrificed an extra action point, but took some dude down.
Yeah! Taking him down.
He looks around the squalor of the room, then glimpses his own reflection in the machinery. Oh God, look at me! Yeah, there's some really good,
I'm hideous!
some really good like dungeon master speech in here, like cheesy dungeon master speech. I quite like it.
Sweet.
That's the thing I keep thinking while playing this game though, is I wish there was a Dungeons and Dragons game like this, a modern one.
Man,
That would be ridiculous.
It'd be awesome. Turn-based D&D is a thing that's never been done, and I don't know why. Because in the actual role-playing game, it's all turn-based.
what do you mean turn-based D&D has never been done?
In video games,
Really?
think about it, man. Like all of the old Infinity Engine games were all real-time. You could
What-
pause the game, but it was all real.
Yeah, you're right. It was all
Yeah.
pause. It was never. It was. Yeah, that is weird. I mean, but in my head, that just sounds wrong. There's got to be a
I know,
turn-based.
it sounds crazy, but it's
That's insane.
It's crazy.
Oh man, I was actually just playing Temple of Elemental Evil not that long ago, which is one of the many Dungeons and Dragons games that was great.
Yep. Come with us. This guy's arguing that the Matrix is real.
Is it?
I don't know.
He's going down though, if a steak still tastes and smells amazing, then it's real to me.
Oh, that's totally from the Matrix.
Yeah. Well, he didn't actually say the steak thing, I just made that up because I know the
Oh, okay.
Matrix, but he's using a similar analogy. Ah, okay, he just shot himself. Oh well, fade to black. That guy's dead.
Well, there you go.
Promise that wasn't my intention.
Why'd you make him kill himself, man? What's all that
I
about?
didn't mean to, Dave. I didn't mean
I
to.
think that you did, which is cold-blooded.
This seems to have gone very dark.
Yeah, it went a little black.
I
Uh-oh.
think the game might have died. It's a Kickstarter game. So
Ah!
there's been a massive like forum backlash about this game so far because of the few bugs in it and the fact that it's not incredibly polished. Everything looks a bit rough occasionally. The art is amazing, but people don't feel like they've got their money's worth from Kickstarter.
People need to reevaluate what $20 is worth.
I would agree.
Yes, especially a $20 Kickstarter game. When so many of the Kickstarter games that we've gotten have been sort of below average, if not even just passable. This one's I got no complaints. I mean, it's crashed on me a couple times. There's been a couple times where the dialogue window that you're just looking at would stay on the screen even after it's supposed to be closed.
Yeah, so that's what's happening now. Is I can't actually skip past this dialogue. I can hit the pause button, but I can't skip past his dialogue.
No.
Well, Andy, it depends on how rough it really is. Because yeah, it has become the reality that almost every game at launch still needs some work. But
Kickstarter stuff.
But you gotta think it's a Kickstarter game and it's $20. So
This is true.
so you just can't hold it to the same standard that you would everything
It was
else.
developed for what, 1.4 million or something?
Yeah, but I mean, like if you got a
For
game that
million.
costs $70 million, and it comes out and it's buggy and whatever. Like SimCity, when it released, that's worthy of bitching about. That's worthy of hating. That's the kind of launch where you're like, okay, you fucked up.
So here's
And
my
we're-
biggest issue with this game so far, right, is were this the case in any other game, at least on PC, but also in a lot of console games, I'd be able to go to the save screen, hit the save button, and then come back later so I don't really lose too much progress.
Uh-huh.
This game does not have a save button. It does
That
not
sucks.
auto-save during missions. It just checkpoints every time you enter a new area, and that's it.
Yep.
Which is
That sucks.
awful. And now I may have to start this whole thing again, and I'm quite angry about it. So angry
Sorry,
I'm
huh?
belching, apparently. Yeah, so... Oh no, I guess
Poor
we'll just
baby.
call it a week there.
Yep, that sounds good. That
That's a big red ramble.
Still
is
up.
a ramble. Thanks for
I'm
joining
glad,
us.
I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, despite this little bugginess, this game is actually pretty cool. I'm enjoying it quite a lot.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hopefully they fix that.
It's-
When it comes
I
to
literally
Mac.
can't press
Oh.
anything. Yeah. That's what you get for having a guy called Paco on your team.
Paca.
Paco.
Paco? Paco.
Paco.
Like taco,
Right,
but
we
with the
got
pac.
we got a big red barrel cast to record.
Yeah, we do got to do that. And we still have
We
to
do
read the
it.
agenda
Let's
that
get out
Pac-Man
of
has
here.
to send out
Thanks
yet.
for joining us this week, guys. If you're watching on the archive, then thanks for watching all the way through this nonsense. We'll be back next week.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing next week yet, but something.
I don't know. Hopefully it's something Pac-Man hasn't played, because he gets really informative when it's something he's played.
There's a big request for us to do KOTOR.
You won't goof
Oh
with me.
my god, that would be so awesome.
Maybe we'll do KOTOR. I don't know.
The KOTOR!
If we do,
Some-
it'll be like the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Someday,
Very
though, I'm going to start pulling out some classics and get them on the Ramble.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple grandfather titles that gave birth to everything we're playing now. Like I wouldn't mind getting some Marathon on here to show people where Halo started, or get
damn. Bungie's
or-
earliness.
or Dune 2 that started the modern RTS craze, or I mean there's a bunch of games that if you go back and play the original, they anyway.
Yeah.
Another time.
Another
Another
time.
time.
We will
Yeah,
do,
got
yeah,
it.
basically, whenever there isn't a brand new game to talk about, we will be pulling out the classics. Hence, we did Vampire the Masquerade last week.
I just can't wait till the end of August when Saints Row the 4th comes out, or Saints Row 4, or whatever it's called.
Well, Saints Row 4, Splinter Cell, Blacklist, and that XCOM game all come out on the same day. So
I know.
that's going to be a big ramble.
That is. That's also going to be a big drain on my bank account.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Although I might be getting Splinter Cell free with whatever video card I choose to get. So
Ooh.
that is a cool thing. I'm looking at the GTX 770. Yeah.
See, now you're just speaking
770.
Greek.
It's a good little card. Anyway, we're off. Out.
Yep, thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Peace.
See you later.